only on Bloomberg Quint.
Hello and welcome. Mindtree recently held an analyst meet where it laid out plans for the BPO and the BPM segment. It also had plans to continue investing in the digital space. It also had a lot to say about its outlook. Let's discuss this and the prospects of growth going forward with the CEO and MD of the company, Rostov Ravanan. Rostov, good afternoon and thank you so much for joining us. Let me begin by asking you about the growth prospects going in. What we're reading right now is that Mindtree is likely to beat the industry when it comes to the top line growth. Margins are expected to expand further. My question really was then, what role does the composable automated platform for enterprises, or CAPE as you call it, have to play when it comes to growth and expansion in margins going forward?
Great to be here. Maybe before I answer your question, just want to correct the record. We are not getting into BPO or BPM as a segment. So if you're giving you that impression, my apologies for it. Yesterday when we met the financial community, investors and analysts, we showcased a future vision for Mindtree where we said some of the emerging technologies like AI and machine learning throw up a huge opportunity to go and cannibalize the current market that is being done by the BPO kind of players. So that is a offering that we want to take in the future, but it will be delivered in a completely tech-enabled way with far lesser headcount and the far much more efficient way than the industry is delivering it right now. That was outlined as a offering that we want to take to customers in the future. Coming to your question, CAPE is a platform that we developed which is enabling us to deliver all the projects we have where we are supporting our customers' applications and infrastructure, what in our industry we call as the run the business portfolio of our clients, in a much more efficient, much higher quality, much more predictable way. So it's a homegrown platform that Mindtree conceptualized and now offering it to customers. So it's a service delivery mechanism that offers greater productivity improvements for Mindtree and greater quality for our customers.
Right, Rostov, from what we understand, the lines between run the business and change and grow the business segments are thinning day by day. Can you tell us a little more about how this transformation is coming about and how Mindtree is actually aiding this process going forward?
Our own experience is actually slightly different. In our experience, we are finding that the two are probably becoming towers in their own rights with completely different specialization, completely different skills required for it. So the kind of approach and attitude you take for run is to some extent very different from what you do for the digital or grow the business kind of projects there. There's an enormous amount of innovation, engineering discipline, technology excellence, delivery expectations that are there in both. So while you're partly right in the sense that there are some commonalities of customer expectations, but the method of execution in both are turning out to be quite different. We are aware of the nuances. We set up independent units to focus on both the digital and the run the business activities, each focusing on going deeper and deeper and becoming more and more expert in their respective domains. Ultimately, they all converge at some stage because all the applications that are being developed and helping our customers grow their business. For example, if I'm doing a data-driven marketing using analytics for a large customer, that application will ultimately need to be run by somebody. So there's a phase in which it is more a build kind of a phase, and there is a phase in which when it gets into more of a run kind of a phase there. So they all converge at some point of time, but while they are different, the specializations are quite independent. We recognize the commonalities and the similarities and building the organization accordingly.
Okay, Rostov, so to understand this better, where is Mindtree going to put its money or in investments in what areas, say, over the next 1 year?
both of these and more, because this is like saying, will I take care of my right hand or my left hand or my leg, right? So I need to deliver my present, which is both the run and the grow business. Both are doing quite well. Like you referred to in the first part of your statement, we are highly confident of our growth, not just for this year but over the next few years as well, based on the business momentum, pipeline, traction that Mindtree has with customers, feedback from analysts that are tracking our industry. Put all of those together, I think we are extremely confident of growth. But both run and grow are essential ingredients of our present business. So over the next 2 or 3 years, we are looking at all the things we need to do to leverage this trend, exploit this trend, create a lot of value for our clients, for our people, and for Mindtree investors. But while we are doing all of this, there's also a vision that is emerging in our minds on what is beyond digital. And the investments we are making in that front are around technologies like AI, blockchain, etc., where we are fundamentally reimagining businesses for our clients and helping them accomplish more. Going back to the tagline of Mindtree, it's welcome to possible. So we're creating new possibilities for our clients, not just today, not just tomorrow, but 5 years from now as well.
And can you tell us a little more about how your partnerships are evolving, and perhaps a little more about what we can expect from the future?
Great question. We are realizing that all of these problems that our customers are throwing at us cannot be solved by Mindtree alone. Some of these are very complex, some of these are very large, and all the innovation that's required to deliver these do not come from Mindtree alone. So we have created a whole ecosystem of partners, and I'm just going to take 3 dimensions of this partnership approach. At one level, we have the startup ecosystem that we are very actively engaged with. These are highly innovative product kind of companies which have like very specialized solutions to solve one particular problem in the specific domain that they have targeted. Whether it is a startup called Tukitaki, which is a AI-based tool for anti-money laundering and KYC for the BFSI segment. Similarly, there are startups that we are engaged with that are focused on the retail vertical, multiple other verticals that we serve there. So one leg of the partnership is the startup ecosystem that we are very actively engaged with. The second is the very large technology corporations like a Microsoft, SAP, Salesforce, etc. We have a very active partnership going on with all of them at multiple levels, for sales, for engineering, for go-to-market, proof of concepts for customers, all of those kind of things with some of these large partners as well. Each of them are complementary, and each of them are focused on a specific offering that we are taking to customers. The third dimension is the partnership with the academic institutions. Historically, our industry was primarily focused on partnerships with the academic institutions for recruitment. We are beginning to sort of see a new trend where we want to leverage the research and the IP creation that happens within these academic institutions and get plugged into that ecosystem as well. So these are, I would say, broadly the 3 dimensions of partnerships that we have. Last year's annual report was primarily on the theme of partnerships. So this is a very important strategy for us.
Rostov, and my final question will have to do with your workforce. Considering the kind of changes that the industry is seeing right now, how do you see reskilling and perhaps adding new skills to your employees as we move into the next few years? And secondly, we're starting to see automation in the lower level jobs. Does that mean that hiring can, or rather the rate of hiring can reduce as we move into the next few years as well?
We are actually very, very positive about all the steps that we have taken so far. If you look at over the last maybe 2 or 3 years, a significant portion of my time and KK's time went behind this whole necessity to look at skills of our people. As you would know, Mindtree had a very strong employee-centric culture and a brand that is completely resonating with the talent market, that Mindtree is a great place to work in. So we recognize the fact that we have to carry our people along in this period when there is disruptive change. So over the last 2 or 3 years, so much of our effort went into deciding what are the skills that are required for the future, identifying for each individual in the company, identifying a personalized learning journey for those individuals. A lot of awareness building and journey creation, personalized learning journey creation happened at an individual level. A lot of effort also went in building the digital infrastructure to support that learning. We decided that trying to generate content is not the best way to use our resources because there's so much of content available in the world, whether it is public forums like YouTube or some other open source platforms like Udacity or Coursera, etc. So we decided to source content from all of those sources wherever it's available, spend more of our time on the awareness building, communication, digital infrastructure creation, etc. All of that is leading to two very important outcomes for us today. One is our attrition typically tends to be much lower than the rest of the industry, and secondly, our customer satisfaction tends to be quite high because our people are prepared for the future. We made that investment, so very confident of what we have done so far and all of that. Nonetheless, I think it's an ongoing journey. We can never rest satisfied at this. So there'll definitely be continuous amount of focus and development that we do on this area, but feel very proud of what we have accomplished as of today. Coming to that point on automation, in every single case that we have delivered automation, either in an internal process or in a customer project, we've had two very interesting outcomes. Our people satisfaction of the people in those groups has actually risen, because what has happened is anything that is mundane and repetitive has all now getting automated. So they are actually going to use their time either picking up a new skill or doing a more value added part of that job and not getting bogged down by the routine or the mundane part of the job. So people's satisfaction has actually gone up. In some cases, people have also then ended up having a better work-life balance because some of these low-end activities have now got automated. So they finish early, don't have to come on weekends. So there's overall, from a people and a morale and a reskilling point of view, it's been a big advantage for our people. Similarly, for our clients, it's led to a significant cost reduction as well as an efficiency or a productivity improvement. So Mindtree has gained because our people have gained, and our customers have also gained for those processes. So we actually see it as a huge win-win for all stakeholders in that journey. So there's continuously, like I said, higher adoption, lower resistance when we're trying to experiment with these kind of trends.
Well, fair enough, Rostov Ravanan. Thank you so much for taking us through the outlook of the company as well as several aspects that have been discussed in the annual investor meet.
Thank you.
And with that, it's a wrap on this special broadcast. Up next is Hot Money with Darshan Mehta.